Are you a super fan of Once Upon a Crime? Show your love, support the show, and get tons of perks by joining our Patreon. Patreon members get ad-free episodes and can hear them before anyone else. You also get bonus episodes and a special gift sent in the mail when you become a member. Memberships start at just $2 per month. You can save even more when you choose the option to pay annually. Go to patreon.com/onceuponacrime to get more info and become a member. You can also find the link on our website, truecrimepodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening and supporting the show.
This podcast details true crime cases. It contains adult themes and may contain descriptions of violence. It is not intended for children. Listener discretion is advised.
Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Once Upon a Crime. As we continue our journey through the Best Of series, I've handpicked an episode that holds a special place in my heart. This episode, released in Season 1, not long after the podcast's inception, still resonates with our listeners, making it one of the most beloved series in OUAC's history. The series The Day the Music Died told stories of tragic endings of musical icons. I covered the lives and careers of Marvin Gaye, Kurt Cobain, Tupac and Biggie, and Selena. At just 23, Selena Quintanilla Perez had already become one of music's brightest stars. Starting her journey as the lead singer in her family's Tejano music band, she and the band quickly amassed Best Musical Artist awards and embarked on a meteoric rise up the music charts. Selena's talent and charisma made her a Latino music sensation, earning her the title of the Queen of Tejano music. She then conquered the pop charts with ballads and dance tracks in both English and Spanish, leaving an indelible mark on the music industry. But it would all come to a tragic end in 1995, when her life was cut short in a shocking act of violence committed by someone Selena considered a friend and one of her most loyal supporters. I hope you enjoyed this clip from our Best Of catalog from Season 1. The Day the Music Died, Selena. If you'd like to hear the entire episode or the entire series, The Day the Music Died, click on the link in the show notes. Hey guys, are you looking for your next true crime podcast binge? Well, I've got a great suggestion for you. Crime Weekly is a true crime podcast hosted by former police detective turned private investigator Derek Levasseur and true crime YouTuber Stephanie Marlowe. Each week, Derek breaks down true crime cases from the perspective of law enforcement and gives you a peek at the investigatory process, while Stephanie dives into the context of each case, looking at the who, what, and why, leaving no stone unturned. When you listen to Crime Weekly, you'll hear well-researched multi-part series on high-profile cases like West Memphis 3, the murder of Hae Min Lee, and the Michael Peterson murder trial, as well as lesser-known but equally fascinating cases and breaking true crime news. They are currently taking a look at the Menendez brothers murders, and there are over 200 episodes to binge. And with over 8,000 five-star reviews, I know you'll also be hooked on Crime Weekly. Every week a new episode drops. It's called Crime Weekly, get it? And you'll learn something new every time, including how to better protect yourself and the people you care about. Crime Weekly is a podcast I know you're going to want to listen to, and one you'll never miss. Listen to Crime Weekly every Friday, wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube. And make sure to tell them I sent you in the comment section. Crime Weekly will be your next true crime podcast binge. Join me in listening every Friday to a new episode. Can you believe we are just a few short weeks away from CrimeCon 2024? Well, I can't wait to meet you all in Nashville from May 31st to June 2nd for the world's best true crime event. CrimeCon is an immersive weekend-long experience that takes you front row to hear about the latest investigations and teachings about cutting-edge scientific techniques. You'll also get sneak peeks into the hottest binge-worthy true crime shows and documentaries, and rub elbows with celebrities in the true crime world. If you're a follower of true crime, you will not want to miss it. Mark your calendars for May 31st to June 2nd and secure your tickets today. Grab your discount using my promo code ONCE. It really helps out the show and gives you a 10% savings off your standard badge for CrimeCon. A win-win. I can't wait to see you. Go to crimecon.com for tickets and information, or to our website, truecrimepodcast.com, and click on upcoming events. And I'll see you there. Selena Quintanilla was born on April 16, 1971, in Lake Jackson, Texas, to Abraham Quintanilla Jr. and Marcela Zamora. Abraham and Marcela were married in 1963. Abraham was of Mexican-American descent, and Marcela was half Mexican-American and half Cherokee. They moved to the Corpus Christi area of Texas and began a family. They had 3 children, a son, Abraham III, and 2 daughters, Suzette and Selena. Selena was their youngest child. Abraham took a job at Dow Chemical to provide for his family. But Abraham's first love had always been music. Abraham was drafted into the Army, which ended his musical career. But still loving to play and sing, he taught his son to play guitar, and they would often practice songs together. Selena loved to listen to the guitars and sing along. By the time she was 6 years old, Abraham recognized that Selena was musically gifted. She could sing in perfect pitch. Abraham was once again excited about forming a new band, this time a family band. Abraham named the band Selena y Los Dinos. Abraham decided they needed to work full-time on the band and pushed hard to promote it. They played everywhere they could make a few bucks. At weddings, at fairs, and even on street corners where they would pass a hat in hopes of making a few dollars. Abraham purchased a used van and packed up the family to find more venues and bigger audiences to play to. They were able to book venues from California to Florida, with Selena, the cute little girl with the big voice, as its main draw. Selena learned to sing songs in Spanish phonetically. She did not speak any Spanish and had to memorize the songs. Her brother A.B. began to write original songs and arrange the music for the band as well. In 1984, when Selena was 13 years old, Selena y Los Dinos recorded their first LP, simply titled Selena y Los Dinos. In 1985, to promote the album, Selena appeared on a popular Spanish-language talk show, The Johnny Canales Show. Selena learned to speak enough Spanish to be interviewed on Latino television and radio shows. She became featured regularly on The Johnny Canales Show, among other programs, as their popularity increased. Tejano audiences had previously been older, more traditional Mexican audiences, but A.B. began to introduce sounds that resonated with younger audiences. By the mid-1980s, the band began to fuse the traditional Tejano sound with R&B, Colombian cumbia rhythms, and pop music to reach a wider and younger audience. They added a keyboardist, Ricky Vela. Another reason the band stood out was that Tejano music had long been traditionally male-dominated. It was rare that a female singer was featured, and almost non-existent that a female would front a Tejano group. But Selena had something special that kept the audiences flocking to see her. She was a talented singer, could dance, and really put on a fun show for the fans. And people truly loved Selena. The band released 5 more LPs by 1988. In 1987, Selena won the Female Vocalist of the Year at the Tejano Music Awards for the very first time. It was a category she would win for the next 9 consecutive years. The newly formed Capital EMI label saw the potential of Latino music audiences and opened EMI Latin Records. They were looking for artists to sign when they saw Selena perform at the 1989 Tejano Music Awards. Sony Music Latin was also there. They both approached Abraham with an offer to sign Selena and the band. In 1990, Selena released her second studio album, titled Ven Conmigo. One of the tracks was an updated Mexican cumbia number that quickly became popular and was one of Selena's biggest selling singles. Its popularity grew in Mexico as well as in the States, and the album was certified platinum. A woman named Yolanda Saldivar approached Abraham asking him if she could start a Selena fan club after seeing her perform in concert. At first, he declined the offer, but she was persistent and he finally relented. Yolanda Saldivar became Selena's fan club president in 1991. She lived in San Antonio, and whenever Selena and the band were in town, as they often were, Yolanda was by her side. She became a trusted assistant and Selena believed a good friend. In 1994, all of Selena's business ventures were highly profitable. Besides record sales, she was selling out large concert venues, and her clothing line and boutiques were a success. But it was being reported by boutique employees that Yolanda was becoming more difficult to work for, and there was a high turnover in the boutique staff as many left rather than deal with her. It seemed as if power had gone to her head, and Yolanda was rude with staff and management alike, often firing people whom she disliked. Selena heard complaints about her, but dismissed it as the typical "I don't like my boss" complaints. She thought of Yolanda as a friend and had difficulty believing the stories she heard about her. When the staff couldn't get Selena to listen to their complaints, they then approached Abraham with their concerns. He took them seriously and told Selena to be careful and that Saldivar might not be as trustworthy as she thought. Selena, believing her dad to be too cautious and judgmental, told them not to worry. In January 1995, Abraham began receiving complaints from fan club members who said that they had paid for their memberships but had not received the items that were promised. He began to investigate these claims and soon discovered that Yolanda had embezzled more than $30,000 in forged checks from both the fan club and the boutiques. On March 9th, he called a meeting. In the presence of Selena and her sister Suzette, Abraham confronted Saldivar with the missing funds. He told her unless she could provide evidence to prove otherwise, he would involve the police and file theft charges against her. Yolanda didn't have any answers. She denied knowing anything about missing money, but they didn't believe her. Abraham wanted to ban Yolanda from having any contact with Selena, but Selena didn't want to completely dissolve ties to her yet. Selena was also concerned because Yolanda had important business documents and tax records that she would need to get back from her. Yolanda promised to get the documents to Selena and also to bring proof that the missing money was all a mistake. 2 days after the meeting, Yolanda purchased a gun after undergoing a background check. I hope you enjoyed that peek at one of Once Upon a Crime's most popular episodes, originally released in 2016. There are over 300 episodes of Once Upon a Crime for you to binge. On our website, you can find all our episodes and search by season or category. Go to truecrimepodcast.com to listen to episodes, get information on upcoming events, purchase merchandise from our store, and find all our social media channels. I'll be back on Friday with another Best of selection, and I hope you'll join me then. Once Upon a Crime is written and produced by me, Esther Sanchez Ledlow. My executive producer is Lorena Garcia. Until next time, be good to one another.